Chicago coach Dave Wanstead wasn't thinking division championship when the season started. But a quick return to the playoffs is a surprise to many. Eric Kramer was hired to lead the Bears, but a switch to Steve Walsh led the resurrection to respectability. 8 wins, 3 losses under Walsh. It may not be the '85 model, but much sooner than anyone had the right to expect, there's a little monster growing once again in the Midway. From the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And first off, we'd like to wish you Happy New Year. As far as the Bears are concerned, not many people give them too much of a chance to defeat the Vikings. What do you think they have to do to accomplish that task?
I'll tell you, I think this guy, Dave Wanstead, has done a great job all year. And he said there's 3 battles that we have to win. He said, first of all, we have to win the special teams battle. He said, then we have to win the turnover battle. And then he said, and we have to be close in the 4th quarter. Because if we do those 3 things and are close in the 4th quarter, we'll beat the Minnesota Vikings.
Trace Armstrong, Carl Simpson, Chris Zorich, and Alonzo Spellman, the front 4. Joe Kane, the leading tackler, Dante Jones and Vincent Smith, the linebackers. Secondary, Donnell Wolford, Jeremy Lincoln, the cornerbacks. Carrier and Gale, the 2 safeties. The Bear offense, quarterbacked by Steve Walsh, who comes from nearby St. Paul. In front of him, Andy Heck, Todd Perry, Fontenot, Lewinberg, and James Williams. Big James Williams, the big cat. Tillman, Harris, Conway, Graham, and Cook.
Boom! Watch McDaniel, 58, he's coming in there. Watch the right shoulder on the right shoulder of Tillman. That was the ball. That was the hand he had the ball in, and whap, it just came right out of there.
And Henry Thomas made the recovery.
Little Zorich there, you look at him, tackle, his motor goes about 125 miles an hour all the time.
Rave's kickoff to Nate Lewis at the 6. To the 34. Steve Walsh still the quarterback. Walsh pass caught by Jeff Graham as the Bears move into Viking territory just across midfield. Walsh. Pass is intercepted by the Vikings. Anthony Parker came out of the pile with the ball. Walsh is down but not hurt. Parker down with the rebound, and the Vikings get their 2nd turnover. And now the Vikings use something they haven't used in a while, a shotgun formation. Moon is sacked around the corner by Trace Armstrong. And the Vikings go backward.
Yep, that's one thing about that. That just makes you standing in. Here they are again. If you look, they're just in a 3-man line again. Here's Trace Armstrong. He's going to go right around Chris Hinton. That's the 2nd time they've used this and gotten pressure from just a 3-man rush. Here, Trace Armstrong was just man-to-man on Hinton, and he just manhandled him. And right behind him, you have Jack Del Rio. They are tough to run in there.
Here's Walsh, screen pass. Tillman to about the 30. That's close to a 1st down. Carlos Jenkins and Henry Thomas involved in the stop.
What the heck are you talking about?
1st down, Bears. Walsh back to throw it if he has time. Walsh sidearm to Harris to the 35. 3rd down. Pass complete to Curtis Conway. Gets across midfield into Viking territory. 1st down, Bears.
Jack Del Rio just got him. Watch Jack Del Rio here. He ends up chasing Conway. He's just zoning. You see, he's going to see him right here. And then he just dives and just right there gets 1 ankle. That was enough to make that tackle.
1st and 10 at the Viking, just across the Viking side of the field. That's Harris straight ahead. About 6. Ben C. Glenn up to make the stop. 3 wide receivers for the Bears. Walsh back to throw it. Here comes pressure. He completes the pass anyway, and he gets enough for a first down. Walsh backpedaling. Got rid of it to Curtis Conway, and Conway got the first. But the Bears on the move. 1st and 10 at the Minnesota 27. Steve Walsh gives to Lewis Tillman. Close to the 20. Stopped by Barker. Walsh would appear to be changing his play at the line. Gives to Harris. I can see why Dave Wanstead likes this guy so much. 6 feet, 225, but seems to have a very good feel.
Yeah, and here's what it looks like from overhead. Here he is right here. And if you were right on top of, like if you were sitting up in the roof, this is what it would look like. You see, he starts in the middle, then he sees Andy Heck, his left tackle, bring his guy down, and he finds a hole to that backside.
Wonder how much those tickets are up there.
No one would go up there. They're free.
That's a good vantage point. Walsh. Harris again pounds down to about the 12-yard line of Minnesota.
But he has a good feel, you know, like Emmett Smith. I'm not saying that Raymond Harris is Emmett Smith, but that thing where you run what you call pick a hole. You just hand them the ball, and they start one direction, and then they just pick a hole anywhere around the line of scrimmage.
And a big pick a hole guy. Here's Walsh. Gets it to Raymond Harris. 1st and goal at about the 3. Just outside the 3.
Raymond Harris doesn't watch out. He's going to be rookie of the year on this drive, because we saw him run. Here he is right here. He's going to be a pass receiver. Just comes out of the backfield, stops, runs that delay, tries to get underneath the linebacker.
At the 1. 2nd down. Tillman. Touchdown. The Bears take the lead.
Good lead that time. They take a defensive lineman, Jim Flanagan, number 68, and they put him in the backfield. Watch, here's big old Flanagan. He's a backup defensive lineman. He's going to lead, and then Tillman just follows him in there. You get number 68, the defensive lineman. Boom, he takes on a guy right there. Tillman cuts to the inside and just gets the ball across.
Kickoff sailed down to Robert Smith, who starts from the 9 and got some room. Smith chased by Butler, knocked out of bounds by the kicker, Kevin Butler. But not before he gets to the Bears' 33-yard line. 3rd and 6. Amp Lee joins Moon in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to the left. Moon has time. Incomplete. Pass is intercepted by Barry Minter. And again, the Vikings.
You see Minter, he's the middle linebacker on nickel. Moon looks him off first. Minter went to the right. Then he picks up his guy, comes across to the left, right out of his hands, and Minter picks it off.
So the Bears take over.
Coming across, and then the ball went through his hands right into Minter.
Walsh to throw it. Going deep for Jeff Graham, and Graham has it. Still on his feet, still fighting as Graham down to the 13-yard line. Walsh to Graham, stopped finally by Vince Glenn.
Sometimes I think they get mesmerized by a guy like Walsh who throws those short passes they don't think he can or does go deep. It looks like Dwayne Washington just lost Graham. You're going to see here, he gets the ball up there. Graham is going to be all by himself. Jeff Graham, he's behind Dwayne Washington. There's Dwayne Washington, number 20 there at about 12 yards, and Graham ran right by him.
While he was still squatting. That's Lewis Tillman. Tillman inside the 10 to about the 9. Del Rio on the stop. 3rd and 5. Conway was the man in motion. Walsh rolls right, fires, touchdown, Bears. Keith Jennings from Walsh.
The Bears have this Minnesota Viking defense on their heels now. That drive. Mix up a little run. They got some running game going, throwing deep. Here they're going to cross their backs and hit their tight end. You see the back goes this way, the other back goes the other way. Steve Walsh does what we call a bootleg, and he finds Keith Jennings in the end zone.
They turned it around in a hurry as you look again at Walsh's touchdown pass. Whitford Smith at the 8. Bears down in good shape this time. That's good coverage. Smith down at about the 17-yard line by Myron Baker.
Oh, that ball was thrown for none yardage.
First to 10, Minnesota. The handoff is to Terry Allen. This time he got almost another first down if he didn't get it. Kane again on the stop. No glass in his head.
He looks like he's still wondering where that camera came from.
Boom! Gets it to Chris Carter, who breaks one tackle, breaks another. Finally is tripped up by John Mangum after he gets a Viking first down.
Score some points and take them right out of the game. So far, they've got that done. John?
Yeah.
Matt jettisoned the earplugs.
Yeah, they just threw him away, he says. One thing, I think the Vikings have ended up in this situation too often, 3rd and long.
Boone. And Lee is out of there, and he could score. And Lee is finally taken down inside the 10 and about the 7. Good running by Amp Lee. Finally taken down by John Mangum. No timeouts left.
Better get this one in the end zone.
He better throw it down in a hurry and ground it quickly. Ball get it in the end zone. There's the lob into the end zone, and Carter. Chris Carter, as he has done so many times. Touchdown pass from Warren Moon. Steve Walsh back to throw it. Steps up into the pocket. Curtis Conway gets out to the Viking or to the Bear 48. 1st and 10 Bears. First down Bears. Walsh gives to Raymond Harris. Harris nudges into Viking territory. Stopped by Ed McDaniel.
I like this Raymond Harris.
Oh, boy, I can see why.
You know, I don't know that he was going to play a lot this year until, remember, Merrill Hodge had that concussion problem and had to retire because I think the Bears were counting on him to do this part of the work. And Merrill Hodge retired, and here comes Raymond Harris. And he's been very impressive.
2nd and 5. 5 yards on that carry for Harris. 3 wide receivers this time. Walsh roll out. Gets the pass to Jeff Graham, and Graham out of bounds at the 29-yard line of Minnesota.
Yeah, Steve Walsh does this very well, this bootleg. This is what he got the touchdown on, where you start, you fake the back going this way, then you put the ball on your hip, the old bootleg, and then you come out the opposite way and hit a crossing pattern. You see, you start with a run fake, you get everything going like to the left, and then you stop it and you run out to the right. You see, and then he has the guys crossing, and he has them layered as they cross, short, medium, and deep. That time he hit the medium guy.
That's a good throw on the move. This is Harris. Raymond Harris still on his feet, still running. Raymond Harris, touchdown Chicago. You didn't like him soon enough, or maybe you did.
Oh yeah, I don't know what they did at halftime, but whatever adjustments they made or whatever they ate or drank in that locker room, it sure as heck worked.
Oh.
I mean, this Bear offense came out, and Denny Green don't know what hit him. He said, where'd these guys come from? I mean, they had the pass, they had the bootleg. Now, Ramon Harris again, that pickle hole that we were talking about earlier. That play was supposed to be in the left. He started on the left, went back to the right.
The Bears 21, Minnesota 9. Longest Bear run of the year.
You want to see why Raymond Harris cuts back. Here's John Randall. Todd Perry misses Randall. He cuts up. This is where he's going to go. He sees Randall. He says, whoa, I can't go here. I better cut back here. And he does. Jack Del Rio doesn't wrap him up. You see him? He sees Randall right there. Now he has to get away from Randall. So he cuts back there. Del Rio has him there, doesn't wrap him, doesn't wrap his arms around him, and Raymond Harris keeps his feet going. That's the secret. Kept his feet going, ran right through an unwrapped tackle.
Warren Moon back at quarterback, has Terry Allen behind him. Moon fires wide open. Andrew Jordan. Ball's loose. Bears on it. And the Bears are still going.
I didn't hear a whistle until just now.
Right.
Yeah, they didn't blow a whistle until the middle of that run back. They have that Maurice Douglas in there in that middle, number 37, because the Bears are playing him in a lot of nickel. And he's a real hitter. And, you know, and anytime they come in there, it looks like they're not too anxious to get stretched out there because old Mo Douglas is going to put that helmet right on a rib. You know that.
2nd and 9. Raymond Harris behind Walsh. Walsh gets it to Harris. And Harris again rumbles near a first down, about a yard short. Stopped by Lamar McGriggs.
And taking a short drop where you can just run them right on by.
Tillman and Carter. Walsh rolls. Gets it out to Carter. Carter outside the 40 to about the 43. Walsh does that, as you said before, very well.
And that's that same bootleg where they cross the backs. This is an interesting play. They're gonna they cross the backs and then they bootleg and then he throws to the back to cross it. See the back on the right? See him sneaking out here? That's the guy that he throws to. So the back, one back goes to the left, one back goes to the right. Walsh fakes to the left, he goes to the right and throws to the back and went to the right.
That's the play that looks like it's right out of the 49er playbook.
Yeah, and it really causes the defense to get going a lot of different ways too.
Harris, the lone setback. Walsh comes out. He's going to take off. Steve Walsh puts his head down. No slide. Todd Scott back in the game, came up to make the hit.
It was interesting talking to Steve Walsh last night about how much fun it is to be a player and to start again, and just the things that he's doing here. We saw him bootleg on the play before. We see him just feel a little rush, get to the outside, scramble. He said he forgot how much fun that it is to play football.
It's hard work, he said, much harder work than being a backup, and you can understand that. And Chicago ahead 21-9. Moon back to throw it. Gets it out to Andrew Jordan again, the tight end, and this will be enough for a first down. Stopped by Maurice Douglas. Moon gives the ball to Graham, and Graham has the first down to about the 44-yard line. Sean Gale and Maurice Douglas made the stop. Amp Lee is behind Moon. The ex-49er. Fake to him. Moon from behind by Trace Armstrong.
You know, that's the second time, Pat, they've got in that three-man line, and Trace Armstrong has beaten Chris Hinton. You're going to see the same thing. See, they only got 3, 1, 2, and here's Trace Armstrong going right around Chris Hinton. He did that in the first half, and he did it again. Just man-to-man, just 3 rushers. He just beats them right there. Warren Moon starts to step up, and there's nothing he can do about it. But you have to. If you're going to be a playoff team, you have to be able, with your 5 guys, to block their 3. Still that 3-man line, 8 defenders.
Screen pass against the 8 defenders, and Amp Lee dances out of it. Lee to the 35-yard line. First down, Vikings. Good call there. 2nd and 12. Moon back to throw it. Spellman around the corner. The pass is intercepted by the Bears. Jeremy Lincoln. And the Bears take over.
Moon overthrows it. He's going to catch it. Here's Jeremy Lincoln here. You'll see him. He's just going to drop back. He has a deep third. He's going back into the zone. And then he stops, and the ball's just overthrown, and there it is, thrown right to Jeremy Lincoln.
2nd down and 10 for the Vikings. Less than a minute left in the 3rd. Pass is down the seam to Amp Lee, and Amp Lee still on his feet. Still on his feet, and Amp Lee finally taken out of bounds at the 31-yard line of Chicago by Maurice Douglas, who's back. A gain of 37 yards. Amp Lee out of the backfield. Moon struggles in the other direction. Fires deep for Ismail. Knocked away by Mark Carrier. Good play.
That is a heck of a play by Mark Carrier. Well, it says Mark Carrier comes all the way over from center field and knocks that ball away from Quadri Ismail just as he's ready for the touchdown. I think that's why Dave Wannstedt said last night, if we're close in the fourth quarter, we're winning it this year.
Walsh hits Conway. Good throw and a flag on the play. John Randall, watch number 83.
He's coming from that backside. And you just see after Steve Walsh throws it, John Randall gave him a little pop. Steve Walsh saw that yellow flag out of the corner of his eye, too.
3rd and 5. Harris is the deep back. 4 wideouts for Walsh and the Bears. Ryan wet night. There's the draw play, and Raymond Harris surge at the end might have gotten him a Bear first down.
And if you're going to do it, this isn't a bad place to do it if you're Steve Walsh.
Tillman and Carter behind Walsh. Going deep. Touchdown Bears, Jeff Graham. Walsh to Graham.
And you're going to see Dwayne Washington again up there in tight coverage. He goes for a bump and he whiffs him and he can't catch up with it. And that's just a perfect throw by Steve Walsh.
And the Bears lead it 28-12 with 12 minutes and 42 seconds left to play in the contest. The Bear rush is not there yet and doesn't get there. To Chris Carter, Viking first down. Amp Lee behind Moon, Carter in motion. Not much pressure from the Bears. Catch made by Isbell. A leaping catch in front of Sean Gale. Robert Smith stays in as the deep back. The Bears showing blitz. They're coming after Moon, and they almost got him, but he got the ball out of there to Carter, and Carter gets it out of bounds for a Viking first down at the Bear 14. Lee again was the back. Moon has all kinds of time. Now he's chased by the Bears, gets out of the trap. Touchdown, Vikings, Amp Lee. First down. It's Harris. Down inside the Minnesota 35 to about the 34.
Walleye pikes. Fresh fish. Can't beat it. One of the great days.
Tillman, the deep back, he is past the 30-yard line, very near a first down for the Bears. It's Amp Lee behind Warren Moon. 4 minutes and 3 seconds left. The Bears by 10. The Vikings still in it. Moon's pass complete to Steve Jordan. Stopped by Barry Minter, but it's a Viking first down. 4th and 5. Moon back to throw. As time gets it to Amp Lee, fumble, and the Bears pick it up. This one's alive, and that's Kevin Minifield. And the Bears are headed for San Francisco. 50-yard fumble return.
Watch Amp Lee. He's catching his ball. It's 4th down. He was going to try and stretch out, but he got hit just before he did it by Maurice Douglas. Minifield picks it up and takes it in the end zone.
Amp Lee is back with Salisbury. Salisbury goes out. Pass complete to David Palmer.
He just left a half a piece of fruit and a pill on a plate. I thought, man, that's what coach is down to.
Amp Lee juggled and got the first down. Stopped by Barry Minter, the Viking team, from his middle linebacker position.
The losing just takes everything out of it. You could just, I mean, everything was just sucked down in Del Rio.
Salisbury gets the ball to Jake Reed. Enough for a first down. First road win in the months of December and January since 1987. 17 games.
But more important than that, they won and they're going on and they're still in the playoffs. And Steve Walsh is going to take that ball with him.
The final score here at the Metrodome is Chicago 35, Minnesota 18.
Dave Wanstad looking to break through finally against the Vikes. Minnesota's first drive, you got to throw to a smart guy. So Moon to Steve Jordan from
Brown University.
You're hired, Phil. 6-yard gain. Then 3rd and long. Moon showing his knee okay, although I think for a while he was uncertain about it. Warren scrambles for 7 yards, but the Vikings have to punt it away. Bears in the 3-yard line, the second play from scrimmage, and oh no, the Bears always turn it over against the Vikings. Ed McDaniel puts a shoulder into Lewis Tillman. The All Giants today, get him out of here. Loose ball, McDaniel recovers, Vikings ball at the 3. Second and goal, Terry Allen. It's a touchdown, but holding on the play.
Yeah, as you'll see the replay here, you'll see center Jeff Christie clearly wraps up Chris Sortage around the waist. Result, no touchdown.
So they take the touchdown back. The Vikings move back to the 12. And Fuad Revez, whose last miss was about 1983, is good from 29 yards out, and it's 3-0 Vikings. Bears next drive at midfield. Again, they've seen this before. Walsh fades back, puts it up for grabs, and Anthony Parker makes the interception, and here we go again. The Bears trouble against the Vikes.
Yeah, Steve Walsh under pressure, lets the ball go a little too long off Jay Lewenberg's helmet. Result, interception.
But Minnesota did not score with this, so they squandered 2 golden opportunities, led only 3-0. Later in the quarter, Walsh gets it going. The screen to Lewis Tillman, upfield for 9 yards. Then on 3rd and 5, Walsh to Curtis Conway. Nice looking throw and a good tackle by Del Rio, but it's a 10-yard gain. Bears now moving early second quarter, same drive, spreading it out as Walsh to Raymond Harris, and the rookie down to the 4-yard line. Then Jim Flanagan, the defensive tackle, the lead blocker. Lewis Tillman in, and the Bears lead it 7-3. Minnesota is driven out of the 29-yard line. Moon's pass through the hands of Kadri Ismail, picked off by Barry Minter. So neither team really taking good care of the football, Phil. Chicago driving. Walsh looks deep to Jeff Graham. Makes a move and crackers his way up for 55 yards down to the 15-yard line. To cap the drive, now Walsh feeling comfortable. The play fake sells the Vikings on it to Keith Jennings. Nice pass, 14-3, Chicago. Late in the half, Dennis Green's Vikings trying to come back. Warren Moon to the best defensive player of the day for Minnesota, amply, and he does it amply. He just breaks tackles. He's almost impossible to tackle when he's on. 38-yard gain down to the 8-yard line. Then Moon, all he does is catch touchdowns. Chris Carter, all he does is set records. All he does is get the Vikings back in the game with the TD.
And you see him right here. Warren Moon throws the ball in a good spot where only Chris Carter can catch it in the back of the end zone for the touchdown.
But Warren Moon just 80 yards throwing in the first half. You think the Vikes have the momentum, and on the Bears' first drive of the third quarter, Raymond Harris. Where's the middle of the Viking defense? The vaunted middle of the defense. Harris, 30 yards, touchdown, 21-9, Chicago. The Vikings have their work cut out for him. Dennis Green knows. So we give it to Amp Lee, the former Niner, the former Florida Stater. Look at the moves, 11 catches, 159 yards for Amp Lee. This is a 37-yard gain. Moon, sidelines to Chris Carter. But a beautiful catch. He's called out of bounds, Phil.
Yeah, and Chris, as the replay shows, he drags both feet in, catches them, makes the catch. They ruled it incomplete. Good play by Chris Carter.
But the incompletion makes it 3rd and long. Moon goes to the end zone. The Bears have a very good secondary. One of them, Mark Carrier, makes the fingertip deflection. Minnesota settles for a field goal at 21-12. Early fourth quarter. Dennis Green on the phones looking for his defense, but Walsh finding Jeff Graham, 22 yards. Pretty play inside the pylon, 28-12, Chicago. Moon tries to rally the Vikes to Ismail for 15 yards. The Bears have had the lead in this stadium going to the fourth quarter the last 3 times, only to lose all of them. Moon to Carter, and this will go down to the 15-yard line, and Moon hung in there on the play, Phil.
I tell you, did. A bad knee. He hangs in there. They got him around the ankles, and look what he still completes the pass.
Moon okay. Now watch him take it himself. But hit around Spellman, get a block. And 11 yards to Antley. Touchdown, 28-18. Vikings within 10. But with 4th and 5 with 3 minutes to go, Vikings need more action. They go to Antley. He is nailed. Kevin Minifield picks it up, and sweet revenge. The Vikings score defensive touchdowns against the Bears. Today, the Bears cap it off with a defensive touchdown against the Vikes. That 6-game losing streak goes by the boards. Dennis Green's team has made the playoffs all 3 years that he's been there with 3 different quarterbacks, but alas, they've lost their first playoff game all 3 times. Chicago, with Dave Wannstedt doing a continued brilliant job